Hey everyone, welcome to POD24Cast, the show where we explore the stories of leaders, changemakers, and forward thinkers shaping a more sustainable and resilient world. I am your host, Frank Castaldo, and today's guest is someone whose career is perfectly embodiment of the fusion of science, strategy, and sustainability. I am honored to be joined by Mr. Zaid Taher, the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Global Ambassadors of Sustainability, a former consultant with the UN Environmental Program, and a lecturer with the International Atomic Energy Agency. And with over a decade of experience across nuclear engineering, environmental risk, and emergency preparedness, including pivotal roles in advising ministries and instructing thousands on CBR and safety, Mr. Taher brings an incredible wealth of insight to the table. His academic path includes a bachelor's in nuclear engineering and an MBA in international business. But what stands out even more is his passion for driving real-world impact through sustainability, ESG, and disaster risk reduction. So, Mr. Taher, thank you so much for being here. Let's kick things off with your journey. Could you walk us through your career path and tell us what inspired you to pursue such a multidisciplinary role in the first place?
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank, for having me here today. My journey, to be honest, started into nuclear energy when I was interested in high school in science and technology. And I was fascinated how technology could solve global issues. And nuclear engineering and nuclear energy stood out for its efficiency, potential, and strategic importance. Its applications in medicine, energy, and industry align with my goal to be part of meaningful innovation. This passion led me to pursue a bachelor degree in nuclear science and nuclear engineering. And that also aligned with my values to have a better world and to have a more sustainable world.
So those are some great values you have, and it shows your morality and of course your ethics. Thank you. And what the fact during your studies or during your early career, was there a person or experience that inspired you significantly?
My experience in I started my journey in South Korea during my training to be a nuclear reactor operator, and I was sent by Jordan to Korea to be part of that training program, and seeing the innovation and the integration between safety and also the other benefits that we can get from there inspired me a lot. And I saw also the international collaboration in a peaceful way, how it will flourish the relation between the countries. And also I can see the influence of that on my country's economy and international level also.
You were in South Korea.
Yeah, it was a training course for 6 to 8 months for the new reactor operators, so they can be qualified to get the license from the regulatory body in Jordan and to operate the reactor. I worked as a reactor operator for 2 years in my early career.
What year was this?
It was between 2014 and 2016.
And you lived in South Korea. After that, you became a reactor operator and you moved to Jordan. You moved back to Jordan. Is this correct?
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
were a... Go on.
I just moved back to work as a reactor operator in Jordan. And also, I worked at the time as a commissioning engineer
Oh, in Jordan. Yeah.
in Jordan. Yeah.
That these are all before you were a lecturer at International Atomic Energy Agency. Is that correct?
The International Atomic Energy, you mean, or Jordan
I mean, no,
Atomic
the
Energy
International
Commission?
Atomic Energy.
Yeah, the international. I start working with them in 2022.
Oh.
I started working with them as an emergency expert as part of the technical cooperation program. That was around 2022.
Well, was your career path something you had planned early on, or did it evolve, based on opportunities or circumstances that came on your way?
To be honest, it was a mix between both, and being flexible is the key. I started as a reactor operator, then I became a CBRN advisor and instructor in the UAE. And then I came back to Jordan. I worked as a specialist in the same reactor. I was working as a reactor operator. Then I moved to KSA to work with the United Nations Environment Program as a consultant. So it was a mix between how you have a technical foundation and a set of skills, but you will find opportunities that will not fit 100%, but you can adapt to it. So the secret is to be flexible and to do to see the opportunities around you and see which can fit best for your career path.
What I wonder about you is that you were a technical office operator and you were actually a reactor operator, but your path goes to how do you call it, a disaster risk reduction, officer, and that's more like a policy making role. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Because during my work in Jordan as a reactor operator, I also used to work as a soft skills trainer. So the skill set that I gained gave me the ability to join the Ministry of Defense in UAE as a CBRN instructor and advisor. So from that, I started my career in emergency and risk reduction, because CBRN stands for chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. And we at that time we were qualifying the teams for first response and on a strategic level, operational and tactical level. Also, teaching how to use the personal protection equipments and how to decontaminate from those agents. So that was during that time I start my work on the strategic level and the policy writing. Then when I came back, to Jordan, we and the team executed a national level exercise, and that was also on a strategic level when it's a national level exercise. And then when I joined the United Nations as a consultant, also it was part of consulting program for the Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture in Saudi Arabia. So also it was a strategic level consulting.
And what core value do you think, or what core belief has remained most important to you throughout your entire career and studies?
If I want to mention one, it will be integrity, because nuclear energy it's one of the most sensitive field in the world, and trust is everything in that Trust is everything in that field, and it is hard to build a trust and easy to break it. So I feel like integrity and the continuous, like, I also value the continuous learning and public
Mhm.
service. And I believe that science should serve society, and every technical advancement should enhance human well-being
So,
and environment resilience.
for science is for
Yeah,
the development of the entire world, and if that is true. If it If you could just share
yeah.
one piece of advice with the younger generation, what would it be? This is a cliche question, but it's an important one.
Actually, if I want to advise the younger generation to not stop learning. Learning is a continuous process, and there is no one know it all. And never underestimate the value of interdisciplinary thinking. Combining technical knowledge with communication, policy, or sustainability can open doors you never imagined. Your ability to connect disciplines will define your future impact. Because if you look at the current educational system, you will see, like, if you doesn't fit in that box, you have no place. But in real world, you have to fit in many boxes, and you have to think that way. To get, like, the future is the future, or the career path in the future, it's much harder than it was in the past. So if you're not unique, you will face a big problem.
So you're saying that we should actually think outside of the box. Thinking outside of the box is the only way that we are going to progress these days. I mean, with the development of the AI and, artificial intelligence, people are getting fired from their jobs by the day. I mean, that is the only way to have a progressing career.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah. And if you look back, when the first introduced robots to do the heavy industry work or car manufacturing, you can see how many people lost their jobs. And also, you can reflect
Exactly.
that on AI. You can see that will happen soon with AI. So yeah, if you're not unique enough that you can't be replaced with AI, or, like, you are one of the ones who, like, developing the AI at the time, maybe in the future uh, that will not be needed anymore. So you have to be unique, and you have to have the interdisciplinary thinking
Yeah, I
in your
think
mind, like, built
the
in your
AI
mind.
might even develop itself in the future. And
Yeah.
how do you maintain balance between your professional work and international projects? Of course, you have a lot of work as a CEO of GAoS. Is this how you pronounce the acronym? GAoS, exactly. I mean,
You mean the
you're the
Gauss?
CEO of GAoS, and you have a
Yeah.
international duty as the lecturer of IEAE. Is this correct?
Yeah, IAEA. To be honest, you have to be conscious about it, and you have to put effort on it. And the key of that is to have a proper time management, and also, when it's necessary, to delegate tasks to your team, and keep and having a purpose driven career helps. It will energize you rather than drains you. Also, make space for reflection and family time and travel to maintain balance and mental clarity and stability also. One of the things that work best for me is having to take care of my mental health, to keep not to keep the pressure at highest level, and also keep
Do you
my
have a
mental
hobby
health
for
in a
doing
good
that?
condition. I have mainly, the hobby is going for hikes and
And
walking in the nature. That will
right.
help with releasing the pressure.
And is there a topic or a skill, new set of skills you're learning these days, and you're focusing your energy on it?
Yes, as I said before, keep learning is the key of. It's a key for the current career path. I'm currently focusing on the climate and the intersection with nuclear energy and sustainability. Also, understanding how investment flow into green technology, disaster reduction, and sustainable infrastructure is key to scaling impact. I'm also strengthening my skill in data analytics and ESG metrics.
And would you advise to yourself to go on a different path if you were to go back 10 years ago, you know?
I will advise myself to trust my instincts, but stay flexible. The career path isn't linear, and sometimes the greatest opportunity arise from the unexpected. From the unexpected. Also, investing in a relationship is as important as credentials. And I believe that in the current situation, connections and network worth more than credentials. To be honest, because AI and ATS systems, like, it can reject your CV from the first filtering stage. But if you have a connection in the right place, at least it can send that, like, it can keep that CV visible for the human instead of being
And
rejected by the
do
system.
you envision your professional future? Do you ever do that? Is there a goal or project you haven't achieved yet? I mean, you are the CEO of a big company, big institution.
I envision leadership in shaping national and international sustainability frameworks that integrate nuclear energy, circular economy, and resilience. One of my future goals is to lead the Regional Center for Environmental Risk and Innovation and to contribute to policy reforms that bridge the science policy gap in the world. I'm also thinking to have a risk reduction center that will reflect on like internationally, and we can also have branches all over
So you
the
have
world.
a vision of international sustainability that is a truly beautiful vision, and I hope you achieve it because it is a great thing for the entire world. And was there a moment in your life or career that you feel most pride?
To be honest, during my career, I have a lot of moments that I'm proud of. One of them when I co-founded the Global Ambassadors of Sustainability, and because we built a platform that empowers youth and professionals to lead environmental issues. And another proud moment was when I was training with the World Bank on employability skills. I used to see the change in the participants, and I see how that will impact their future. Because they were young, fresh graduates, and I was helping them to have the skills that make them fit in the market.
You mentioned that you're focusing on reducing the effects of climate change by focusing on nuclear energy. And so which countries have been most successful in doing this and using nuclear energy, peacefully?
To be honest, the biggest example of having a successful implementation of nuclear energy in the world was France. Almost 80% of its electricity was generated by nuclear energy. Also, Canada and South Korea stand out due to consistent policy support, public engagement, and investment in education. Also, their success lies on integrating safety and transparency and international cooperation in nuclear energy.
Canada, South Korea, and France. France being the most effective. And so US isn't even on the top of the list.
Yeah. I think US
Mhm.
have like a lower percentage than France, because I think in US it's either 20% or like, it's according to the state, also the states, because different different like places
And during your
in
time in
America.
South Korea, and what were the essentials? What kind of essential trainings are there for a nuclear reactor operator?
To be honest, to be any nuclear reactor operator, it's a mix between having the technical knowledge and in engineering and systems, also having the knowledge in nuclear physics and reactor physics and systems. Also, you have to have the soft skills to react in emergency situations, how to communicate clearly, because it have a very essential role when doing when they are like in emergencies. They have a very essential role because they are overseeing the whole process, so they can be so beneficial for taking decisions during the time of emergency. So, like reactor physics, systems, thermodynamics, radiation protection, emergency. Also, they can be part in simulation of drills and
So that is
regular
a hard job to
recertification
do and hard
for
thing
them.
to study. I would suppose. You yeah, of course.
Yeah, with a
Is it
with a greater power comes a greater
dangerous?
responsibility.
I mean, is it a hazardous for the body and stuff?
To be honest, the safety systems in nuclear reactor in general, it's very like efficient. And for example, in the reactor I used to work with, like the current radiation dose I'm having now in my living room, it's the same
Seriously?
radiation level I have in the control room. So it's as safe as that. Uh, yeah. So even like in case of emergency, or like in case of failure of the reactor, it keeps safe. This is the main goal of having safety systems, is to keep it safe even when they call it beyond design accidents,
Oh.
and the design based
And
accident and
the
beyond design based accident, to
emergency
keep the reactor
protocols
safe.
implemented in nuclear power plants, are they, being implemented these days? Are they being regulated and checked often by the operators, or is it being neglected?
To be honest, it's not easy to neglect such thing. If you want to look at it from investment point of view, it is not okay to neglect those protocols and lose your investment, or lose the trust in that investment. So protocols follow a graded approach based on IAEA standard. They involve scenario-based planning, real-time decision-making systems, also coordination with the civil defense, and continuous drills to validate readiness. Uh, Doing all of that, it will and also the IAEA keep monitoring all the countries as part of the agreement with the country. And neglecting safety factors, it's not an easy thing. It will make you lose the trust, the public trust. Also, it will make you lose your reputation, make you lose the
And
investment that you
what I
put in
always
that
wondered is that
station,
does
or the plant.
IAEA have a power over the countries that have nuclear power reactors or any kind of nuclear technology? Does it hold a power over them, or is it just a kind of guideline?
It's actually more than a guideline, but also if you don't have a good relation with the IEA, the other countries will be like conservative to deal with you in the nuclear field. So it's kind of she can be like the facilitating trust between the countries to collaborate in the nuclear field.
And then,
So if you don't have the
and
IAEA
would you
trust, so
share
you
some
lose the world trust
experiences
in you.
working for the IAEA? I mean, that is a big thing to do. I mean, especially you're a lecturer there. I mean, you're not just a simple.
In the last year, we had a training in Thailand, Pattaya in Thailand, and that was like collecting like having the people from Asia to do an emergency training, also including a hazard assessment. So that was intended to increase the capabilities of the participant to do the risk assessment and to increase the national
Was this
capabilities of
international?
doing a proper emergency planning and response. And during that time, yeah, like we had people from China,
Oh,
from Bangladesh, from Malaysia, also we have people from Thailand. Each of them they came to that training to be to represent their country and to come back to their country and implement what they learned. During that time, you will see or you will notice the different approaches to solve the problem of emergency preparedness, and you can just show them the guidelines and tell them what they should mention and what should they like, what's the priority to mention in their plans and what they plan, what the priorities to plan for. For example, the evacuation, the medical treatment and other like aspect of emergency, and how to prioritize it and like what to do first and what to do next. And there's a lot of guidelines all over the world, and like the IAEA, it's the most
yeah, it's
let's
most
say
important, I think, agency.
like in the middle between the very extreme preparedness and the yeah, it's in the middle, to be
And
honest, in the
did
middle
you
of
face any challenges
the
there in your
standard, but that
time
doesn't mean
in
like they compromise
IAEA?
safety.
Your international collaborations?
Uh, uh, to be honest, challenges like include different, as I say, different regulatory frameworks all over the world, language barriers, and resource constraint. Also the different like the culture, the culture sensitivity. For example, in some Muslim countries, the women should be touched by women if in case of decontamination, and in other in other countries that will be fine for the responders to be only male. And also in some countries there's a headscarf, or like in India they have the Sikh people, they have the turban over their head. So you have to take care of all of those differences between cultures when you are like delivering this those training and
Oh, wow, that is a
explaining
hard job to
the
do
differences and
because,
how
the
how
cultural
to consider
differences
them
are really
during
hard
the planning
to
stage.
face. I mean, is this serious? Are you serious? I mean, they have a female emergency operator if an accident happens. Are you saying that they have both female and male in Muslim countries?
Yeah, because like the woman should not remove her hair scarf or like take off her clothes in the front of men. So that's why we have to have a woman to respond and decontaminate the other woman. Also, we have a challenge with the face mask when you have a beard, and the face mask will not fit on your face, and it will also always leak from the beard. Also, if you have a head cover or like as I say, turban, the face mask may not fit on your face. So you have to have a redundant device. There's a bag, there's a specialized respiratory assistant device to cover all of the head, and also considering what you're having in your
So
face or your
that
head.
is
So
some
all of those
small tips
challenging
for
should
some
take
people.
into consideration when you are planning.
And do you think nuclear energy is ever gonna be truly an international source of energy instead of, oil, petroleum, other things?
To be honest, the technology is too advanced. The nuclear technology is too advanced. It's too safe. It's low carbon, and also it will help with the energy mix. For example, when the oil, like also there's another thing. Also, the prices for the nuclear fuel, it's more stable than the oil and gas. That will also, you can plan for the long term without having any risk of changing the prices in the of the oil or of the gas. Not like the oil and gas that like every day the price change. And also it's very stable for the base load in the country. When they are having a base load, it's very stable. It's not like the renewable energy,
Do
or
you see
they
them
call it
ever being
the
integrated
PV
with
or
each
the
other?
wind. It's more stable than those resources.
Renewable sources like solar, wind, being integrated with nuclear energy.
Yeah, through hybrid systems and grid optimization, nuclear can provide baseload power while balancing intermittent renewable. Also, there is a SMRs technology can serve as a grid stabilizers and microgrid anchor. Uh, for example, now, as I say, the nuclear technology is getting better and better, and they have now they have the small modular reactors, and also in the future we will have the micro reactors. Those, as I said, they are stable for the base load, and through the smart grids and smart systems, we can have an optimization of energy
And
production,
one
and
other
also
thing
that will reduce
wondering,
the cost for
people, countries
the
get
consumer.
nuclear energy just for safe nuclear energy, or replacing other kind of energies they're using, like oil. But can that equipment and that equipment be used for, other things, such as nuclear missiles, or these days one of the hot topics on the news is Iran's negotiating with the US. I mean, can it be trusted that they are given the equipment and not built a nuclear missile?
Okay. Understanding the nuclear energy and the nuclear technology, you will understand that the reactors that used for power and electricity, it's different from the ones that you can build nuclear weapons with. This is the first thing, and the second thing, that doesn't mean like you can't build nuclear weapons from a power reactor. But the other thing is the optimization, the fuel optimization. In case you wanna make power generation or electricity generation from a power reactor, you optimize it to consume the plutonium in the fuel. So at that moment, it's less efficient in that stage, I mean, it's less efficient to do the reprocessing for the fuel. This is the first part, because it will reduce the abundance of the plutonium in the fuel, the spent fuel. Also, the other thing, most of the countries, they have fuel agreements. So the country that sell them the fuel have to take it back after they consume it, after it's spent fuel. So from your opinion, where they will get the plutonium if the fuel they send it back to the manufacturer, since they don't have it anymore? So it's not that easy or like not that practical to have a plutonium or a nuclear weapon from a power reactor. Plus, the non-proliferation treaties, non-proliferation treaty in that the IAEA implemented, have a lot of constraints for the countries to use the nuclear only in the on the correct way or the peaceful way. And also the enrichment levels for the people for the
And
countries that signed
20% you
the
said.
non-proliferation treaty does not exceed the
20% you said.
20% of uranium 235. So I think that there's a lot of again.
I heard that I read something
Yeah,
that
20%
Iran has hit
of
60%
like enrichment
until
of
now.
uranium
Is this
235.
correct?
To be honest, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know about that. And not always the media reflect the scientific way of mentioning that. If Iran signed the non-proliferation treaty, it's not allowed to exceed the 20%. And
Yeah, I get it, but
if Iran exceeded the 20%, that means like it broke the non-proliferation treaty.
oh,
You got my
I
point,
mean,
right?
it's a
And if
really
they
hot topic on
yeah,
news.
if they
I was
broke
wondering
it,
if you had
so they
any
have
opinion on it.
to deal with the consequences of it.
And
I think there's nothing official of
so
those
you think
numbers,
Iran
to be
understood
honest.
why the agreement
From my point of view,
he has
I
signed up?
didn't see anything official for of that.
And
If the news
how
was
do
correct,
you
I think
see
they broke
how do you
the
assess the
non-proliferation
current
treaty.
global state on nuclear fusion researches?
Actually, it's one of the most promising nuclear technologies now because it's entering an exciting phase. Project like ITER and private initiative are making breaking through in confident and material science. Confinement and material science through commercialization remains a decade or more away. Because the problem with the fusion technology, they have to be honest, they have two problems. The first one is how to contain the energy, and the second one, how to keep the reaction going.
Oh, they haven't overcome it.
And those until now they
So
didn't overcome
this is
it
they haven't
from
overcome it. So
like a practical point of view.
and is there's a difference between fusion and a fission? Is this correct?
Yes. The fission is the current technology that we are using in our reactors now. It's to split the uranium atom or thorium atom into or plutonium atom to split it by adding a neutron to it, and then it will be not stable and it will split.
And
this is called fusion.
One more thing.
Fission.
From
the fusion to have a smaller atoms to infuse to get the energy out of that.
And being from Jordan, you're from Jordan.
It's the same reaction that happened in the sun.
And I read an article about a nuclear project in Jordan. Is this how you spell the acronym SESAMI? And have you ever been involved, or do you have any experience in this project?
Yeah, SESAMI.
Yeah.
To be honest, I never been involved in that
I think
project,
it was built
but I know like it's a
late 90s,
accelerator project.
Correct?
It's not a reactor. It's an accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it was commissioned in early
I
2000,
think it is the only
like 2006, 2007, something like that.
You said it's not a reactor, right? But is it only nuclear?
It's the only nuclear reactor in Jordan. Yeah. No, there's some reactors in Iran. There's like 4 reactors in UAE, and also there's some reactors in Egypt. Also, there's some research reactors in Syria.
But the SESAMI is the only accelerator.
And in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia, there is a research reactor also. So it's not the only reactor in the.
I mean, is it the only accelerator?
Actually, SESAMI, it's not a reactor; it's an accelerator. To my knowledge, I think it's the only accelerator in Middle East.
Oh, and I think it was built for
Except the medical accelerator, because there is a small accelerator can be used for cancer treatment.
Mostly it was political. Is this correct? Was it built by? No, it was built by multiple countries, right? Not only Jordan, with the help of IAEA.
Yeah, Sesame. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. It's an international organization.
Do you think that they have the potential
and it was
to
built
transfer
as part of collaboration between countries, and it was located in Jordan.
Since you're from Jordan, are they people being trained in Sesame?
Yes, definitely. There's a training program, and also there's international collaboration programs.
I think it's being mostly
there's a lot also
sponsored and
a lot of visits
being overseas by a certain
role model,
right?
Role model facility in Jordan.
Yeah. Is it being mostly overseas by CERN Super Collider?
The voice is getting like. I think it's they have a program common between CERN and Sesame, because I think that accelerator that in Sesame it was in Europe before.
What's your
then when they created CERN, they
new generation nuclear reactors such
they
as
brought it here in
SMRs?
They will solve a big problem, because in most countries the grid is like if you want to implement a big power plant, big nuclear power plant, you need to upgrade your grid. And for that reasons, small reactors like the SMRs can solve that problem. You don't need to upgrade the network, because they generate the same amount of electricity as the traditional power plants, oil or gas or heavy oil, or even the coil. So it's relatively small. So there's they also have advanced technology on refueling and maintenance. So you will use it for like 20-30 years, and then they will decommission that reactor. And so it solved a lot of technical problems for the big reactors. And in some cases, they consider it as a black box. You will put it, and with no refueling, with a minimal maintenance, and then after those years pass, you will just decommission it. So you will not have the fuel problem. So it's safer and it's more secure. Also, it will reduce the possibility of having access to the spent fuel.
For being with us today. I hope we can speak again. If you have anything you want to say.
I would like to thank you also, Frank, for this, for your time and for this opportunity. And I always say,
thank you.
Let's keep the world a better place for the
next generations. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
And thank you for your time. And thank you, POD24Cast and the production family. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, that's a wrap for today's work. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Stay connected, stay in the loop, and we'll see you next time.